Right, welcome, everybody, to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Love Island UK Season 11, Week 5, Episodes 28 through to 33. Now, Chris, normally I ask you where you would like to start today, but I am going to throw something out there straight away, and I'm going to say, what the fuck is with these guys? Honestly, I feel like every year, certainly for the last few seasons, we've got this whole, having a really great time with you. Casa comes and it's like, well, I've really got to be tested, because if I'm not tested, how do we even know it's real? I mean, it reminds me of Neil from The In-Betweeners, from the movie, where it's like, oh yeah, well, I only put the tip in, so, that's not cheating. It's just such horseshit. It just fucking pisses me off all fucking week. These douchebags fucking wound me up. What say you, sir?
Well, I think, yes, I'm with you. I think that other than, I think it was Uma and Mimi were the only ones who were pretty much loyal across the whole. I think one of the episodes this week, every fuckers was just snogging, weren't they? Everyone was just fucking kissing people. There was all sorts going on. You know what I found really weird with Casa this week, Dave, is like, again, you've got that little bit of like, oh, I know him, I know her. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
what the fuck again? It's pissing me off that Joey knew one of the girls. Kieran obviously did, with Ruby. It's like, come on, like, what is going on here? And I've changed. There's a few things I want to talk about this week, but yeah, I'm with you. The whole testing bollocks. It's like, that's not real life. You wouldn't go out on a night out and go, you know what, I'm just going to test myself, and then come home and go, well, yeah, I copped off with a girl and that, but I'm back now. I'm loyal to you. That doesn't happen in real life. But it felt this week, Dave, that every single person and the OG contestants, as well as the Casa people, had been told before, pretty much, bar Uma and Mimi, to cheat and to cop off, because they literally forgot about the person they were with, didn't they? It was like, we've watched it in the past, and what are we now? This is the 6th series we've watched together and covered as a podcast. And Casa Amor, you might get the odd one, and it's a scandal, and you're like, shit. Or you get the ones who are not with someone. It's like a friendship relationship, and it's like, great. Like as we see this week with Grace and Connor, like they were together just out of convenience. There was nothing there. It was just because of what happened with Joey and all that thing. That's fine. But it seemed every fucking person was just going for it, weren't they? As if to say, well, yeah, I'm fucking having a snog here. And it felt like they were just jostling for the airtime, the TV time. However, what a load of bullshit with Joey. The whole redemption arc is back on now, Dave. Oh, I'm staying on the day bed. Shut up, you little man-child. Yeah. Absolute bella. I cannot stand him as this has gone on. He's an absolute prick. But the rest of this going on with all these, I just felt it was so Towie-ish. Even so, that when the girls were talking at the start of the week, you had them fucking people sat like they were eating in the background with no one's talking, all these extras they dragged in, and we had the whole Towie filter. Oh, honestly, Dave, the start of the week, I was like, come on, guys, at least make it look half realistic, for fuck's sake. But anyway, I've ranted. I know I've probably gone off towards the left, and I should have stayed in the middle to your original point. But I have felt like there was something off with Casa this week, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, veered a little bit to the left. Bit like our general election, Chris.
Yeah. Fuck the Tories. But anyway, let's go.
But anyway, so I mean, even Joey, I don't know if I've got the strength to go in on him again, Chris, because it's like, we said it before, there's just nothing real there at all. It's like this fucking dog with two dicks here. Oh yeah, I'm now suddenly I'm ready to find love and whatever. It's like, no, just everything is so engineered. So I just don't find it interesting at all. I find the other relationships more interesting than Joey Essex, to be honest. And again, it just feels like it's Joey's season and everyone else is just in it. But for me, at least, I'm not bothered about him at all now.
No, I'm with you. And maybe that'll calm down. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll want his team, unless hopefully gets booted off. But I'd say one of the couples that's been really interesting this week, Dave, is Kieran and Nicole. I mean, Nicole has severe. Pardon?
No, I was going,
Oh, right. What were you going to go? How dare you? Sorry.
No, I was just sort of agreeing with you.
Sorry. So I think with these two, Nicole has serious issues. She really is insecure. I mean, Ruby comes in, he knows her. There's the whole backstory how he's he's been chatting to her, they're going to meet up, everything. Who fucking cares? The producers have brought her in for that reason. He's not took her up on it. He's into Nicole. But yet when they do get back together, Nicole has a go at him about messages and everything. I'm like, he wasn't with you. How can you even, if he'd copped off with Ruby and they'd had a kiss and they were together and they were, and all this sort of thing, fair enough. Nicole is well within her rights to. But as this has gone on, I really think the producers should have done some more testing on her mental health, because she is really struggling in this. She's drinking the Kool-Aid and some. She is bought into this fully, completely into the whole thing. They now love each other, everything. And it was dead nice when she came back in. They was smiling. He was dead happy to see her. And literally, she self-destructs on that relationship. It's like she's obviously been treated so badly in the past by dickhead lads. She obviously just doesn't believe that maybe he's being genuine. I didn't get all that this week. It seemed really off to me.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? She's been dicked around, but she does love the rugby boys, as she says.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird, isn't it? I keep going for these same blokes, and they keep screwing me over. What's going on? I can't get out my tiny little violin here, Chris, for that. It's like, go on, have a fucking word with yourself. Maybe don't just go for the rugby boys and see how that works. Could work out the same, to be fair, but going for the same type over and over again and getting the same outcome and expecting a different one is insanity. But what I would say is one of the surprises of the week for me is that Kieran, he's basically just, I was going to say sorting himself out. He probably was sorting himself out, to be fair. But he wasn't being flirty. He wasn't inviting people into bed and kissing with them like every other fucker in there. So that, to me, was a little bit of a surprise. I do think that was him putting in quite a lot of effort. He'd had a bit of stick about his age and stuff, and he knows that Nicole is, likely to go off at any kind of mention of anything. I do think Ruby's a complete producer setup. She don't give a fuck that she's with Trey. And he's sort of picking up on that. And, she's trying to create this drama about these messages. And again, it's one of these wonderful things that we see on these programs, which is, two people representing something in a completely different way. I don't quite believe that Kieran's, it's a couple of messages, nor do I believe Ruby's, it was months long of messages. And she said that at one point, oh, you sent me a picture of your dog on Snapchat. Well, fucking ring the wedding bells now. You know what I mean? So she's trying to make this massive drama. And unfortunately, Nicole, I say unfortunately, but, she's just buying it all. It's basically, it's validating for her what her fears are. So, she's like, oh, I fucking knew it, So, in Casa Amor, okay, he was fine. But when we get on the outside, he's going to be out there again. So, I don't know. It's all a bit of a mess. And I'm with you. When Nicole came back, and she saw Kieran standing on his own there, it was like a really, really nice moment. But I just feel bad for the couple. They're just going to piss each other off. There's no way when this series is over, Kieran's going to be out on his, his nightclub tour. is he going to be kind of completely faithful there when the cameras aren't there? Is he fuck? So so this couple just, I don't know. In terms of the show, they're probably one of the better ones, but that says more about everyone else than these two. But yeah, it's absolutely fucking no chance after the show.
No, I agree. I completely agree. And what I tell you, one of the couples I mentioned, Mimi, how Dave. Fucking, I mean, he's picked Jessica. I mean, how many Jesses do we need in the same show? We've got 3 now. We've got Jess, Jessica, and Jessie. You know, they're doing every abbreviation. It's like if they had I mean, obviously my full name's Christian, but you'd have, if you had 3 Chris's in there, how would you do that? You'd have to do Chris P or Chris T, whatever. But bizarre. But yeah, again, he's just absolutely played Mimi, and she didn't deserve that. You know, I think Uma was the one he probably wanted to stay with, but that sort of fell off, and Uma's having none of his bullshit. And then he goes again, and then he does the whole act, doesn't he? Like, oh, well, you know, and he's like dead cool, but yeah, well, I had to explore. And I'm like, you've just took the piss out of it again. And even by the end of the week, when he came back from Casa, he then started trying to flirt with her. And I'm like, what world? And he's not the only one. The guys, some of the guys in here are like, are you fucking for real? You know, like, what is going on? So he's gone right down in my estimation, Dave. I had high hopes for them. After the little Uma wobble, I thought they looked really solid. Mimi deserved better. At the end of the day, Dave, Mimi's a really nice person. And you were saying about like the couples. I think her, and I think Uma as well, they actually got some good morals. No one else has in this fucking villa.
Speaking of a little Uma wobble.
I've got Zoom on my TV remote, Dave, I think. But fucking hell. I mean, Maya Jama, let's be honest there. Sam, I wasn't watching. So we need to tread very carefully here. But Maya Jama's outfit, they showed it, and I was like on my phone, I'm trying to make notes for this. And Sam went, my God, that's some fucking dress. And you know, when you're not trying to like swivel your head like the fucking exorcist or whatever it is. I'm like side-eyeing it going, oh, yeah. Oh, my word. You know, like one of them, like, fuck me, Dave, there was bounce back ability. But then Una came in. Fucking hell. I thought we was fucking England were playing. They were fucking bouncing all over the place. And look, I'm not trying to be fucking sleazy, but fucking hell. We've got to talk about this. We can avoid it if we can't. There was some proper bounce back ability going on that episode by Maya, then Uma, because she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, please hold your top. Please hold your top. It's going to come open. Oh. Anyway, Dave, I'm going to try and skate over that.
Was there a proper fucking industrial gorilla tape on there? Because, like, she was properly, when she saw Will on his own, and she's like sprinting across. I'm like, love, that is not the right dress to be sprinting across. So, but anyway, Chris, it's just because you made that little bit of wordplay there unintentionally. I thought pick you up on it.
No, because Sam said to me laughing, she went, fucking hell, she must have her amazing fucking tit tape going on there, because how they didn't fall out, I do not know. And you know what, Dave? I watched it 6 times after just to make sure she'd not malfunctioned.
Yeah, obviously. For the notes, of course.
For the show.
Extensive research, so when we have a chat about it, it's like, you know, no, it's like a VAR decision.
Just hang on.
Slow it down and just pause it here. Yeah, do you reckon?
This has gone on for 10 minutes.
It about, so.
Yeah. Is it a handball? No, hang on a minute. It could be an offside. Hang on a minute. Let's go to goal line technology. But yeah, I honestly, it was literally the side eye came and I'm fucking neck. I literally was getting the Raljacks out on my fucking neck, Dave. I think I swiveled that much. But anyway, let's move on.
But I didn't answer you about IO. So, I mean, I'd said I thought. In the early weeks, I thought Io really super cool and like just seemed to be the most grown up out of everyone. But I think there were a few signs that actually, you know what, he's just a different level of player. So I was comparing him to Ronnie, and I was saying, well, Ronnie's just too obvious. Like he'll say, basically, if he's speaking to Harriet or he's speaking to Jess, he'll just say whatever they want to hear, and then he'll go back to the lads and he's like, oi, you know, got some action here, lads, and whatever. but Io is so much more clever with his words, but he was properly like a politician. So when Mimi and Uma were trying to pin him down, and he somehow managed to say the right words, he was just a bit too cool with that, bit too good at it. Ultimately, not like fumbling around with his words. He was too good at it. So the whole thing from Casa, and a lot of the boys, like say Kieran aside, it's just like, yeah, I've got a great connection, with the other person, but they're not here right now, and you are. So so happy days. I mean, that was ultimately Io's defense, wasn't it? And I feel for Mimi. She kept saying like, "What do you want me to say?" He's saying like, "Do you want to chat and stuff? What do you want me to do? You showed your hand there, so." I don't. What do you want me to do? Do you want to go and be besties now, or do you just want to pick up where we left off? I think that probably is where it's going to go, but let's see.
Yeah, and also, Dave, as much as I think it's wrong with Mimi, why didn't they kick her off? That's the producers again. All the Casa people have gone. We've seen this before, but if ultimately whoever comes back with somebody and that person, whether it's a man or a woman, is on their own, they should be booted out. Because Mimi deserves better.
Yeah.
But she's the only one who's single, and she's not making a play for someone. So we're now going to get somebody come in now and make a play for Mimi, because that's the biggest open goal you can see for staying in the villa. So for at least another couple of days until there's a recoupling or whatever. But there is going to be someone arrive. Maybe. I mean, I think it's movie night tonight, so that's going to be great. So we'll see what happens there. That is definitely going to be good. But
is that always the case where they boot them off when they're single? Because I'm trying to replay back in my mind now, and one that I can think of is like Shauna.
Not always.
Yeah, when Shauna and Callum comes back with Molly, and, she gives the old congrats, hon. Well, she never went. So I think, again, they choose. I think the Casa people go by default, and again it's become a thing, hasn't it? So the whole cheating, to be tested thing, I think the seal's broken on that with Liam and Millie, sorry, not Molly. And the fact that they got over it after about a week, but that went on for a while, didn't it? And then they got back together, and then they went on to win it, and now that becomes part of the playbook for everything. I think that's why everyone's like, oh, we'll be tested, it'll be rough for a week or so, but then that gives us a chance to get through to the final. Then we have to keep things interesting, because if we just couple up and there's no drama at all, people will get bored, and then they won't vote for us. So I think that's it. It's all just part of the playbook.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Joey thing's part of the playbook as well. They never usually get booted off, but in the context of the show, you'd think they'd just do a bit of a shock elimination, wouldn't you? And say, see you later, whoever's left or whatever. You're right. We're going to get this thing. Ayo's going to make a massive mistake, and he's going to now, the whole hunt the slipper thing's incoming. And you know what, Dave?
Yeah.
I've been called out, because you know what, Dave? This is the 5th episode of the show, and we're on week 5 going into week 6. The reality radar is back, my friend. So,
all right,
100% accuracy. I was getting called out this week. Where's the radar? I never like bringing the radar out until we're at that point. Yeah, well, Uma and that running, Dave. The radar was definitely on that day, but but it's like, I'm saying it now. Ayo's going to make a massive play this week. It's a big mistake. Oh my God, he's going to be staying on the day bed. They're going to be back together by the end of the weekday. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm feeling. And Joey's going to do the same thing. I think Joey and Grace isn't completely finished as well. So there's another 100% accurate prediction, Dave. I think that's still there in the background. So, So what you say of that, David?
I mean, I say it's low-hanging fruit, to be honest. I mean, I say that's like going for probably the next time England play, it's going to be a shit game to watch. It's like making that sort of prediction. Now, I still have to, eat my humble pie over the fucking legendary what I thought was a Hail Mary, the whole Ekinsu and Davide thing, where I was like,
Well,
fucking no chance.
what can I say?
They're at each other. And all I read that back now in my mind, and I'm like, yeah, that was really naive, because it's so manufactured, all of this stuff. You can see the patterns. And so because you'd watched a lot more, you spotted a pattern that was gonna play out, and it did. But with this one, I just feel like it, and maybe it's just me watching more of this shit. I just feel like it's too obvious. Like, for Io, he's definitely going to couple up with Mimi. There's absolutely no doubt. You can see it straight away. And with Joey as well. You know, sorry, what was your prediction? Do you think he's going to?
I think Grace.
Get back with Grace.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's been our prediction, though, isn't it? That basically they are together. You know, and then they have to create this drama and whatever, but that will happen as well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And
I think you need something a little bit less safe to make it a proper reality radar.
Hang on a minute. Well, the words were, with Davide and Ekinsu, there is less than a 5% chance, I do believe. And then your phone went radio silent when it was unfolding. All I was getting was abuse off you. And, you know, it born a T-shirt, the reality radar. They've 100%.
It born a T-shirt. I designed it, you knob.
Out of respect, because the radar was so fucking good.
I think it was 1%, to be fair. So no, look, I've had my humble pie. I did a fucking song for you and everything. So I'm saying on that occasion, you know, and as I say, a broken clock is right twice in a day. So
don't ruin it.
That one did come off, but yeah. So this is just a solid couple of predictions with those. I expect more after that fucking Hail Mary coming off, and you milked that fucker to within an inch of its life. So that's why my expectations are higher for these reality radar predictions.
Well, fair enough. Now, getting back to Uma, Dave, and we're not talking about the Euros football or anything, but her and Will, right? She is a better person than Will. Will looks like fucking Shaggy off Scooby-Doo. That shit hipster fucking bum fluff he's got going on pisses me right off. I don't know what's going on with it. He thinks he's come in. He was, he was supposed to be a bombshell. He's a bit of a boring fucker, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know what she sees in him. And then when she comes back, she's running. I know we've been like joking about it, but I'm like, please, Uma, no, you're better than this guy. You've got morals. You know, I find that she's quite a nice person. He's just a player. And when he was laughing and smirking with Sean, who I want to lay into in a bit as well, and they were laughing about it, and they're like, why the fuck are they laughing? You know, when they come back from Casa, it's like, it's bullshit, you know, and the old test thing. Well, yeah, I was in bed, and then the girls were like dropping him in it, which was good. I don't like him, and I think she could do a lot better, whether it's in this villa or not, I don't know. But he is not the guy he thinks is. He thinks he's fucking big time, and he's not. And he just needs to get a fucking razor and shave that wanky beard off there, because it looks terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure many years ago now, Sean has tried out one of those wanky little beards, and I sort of think back to it now, and I'm like, you fucking knob. Why did you think that? You just look like you're fucking ready to go on your Amish farm or something. So, yeah, I agree. But, you know, wanky little beard aside, yeah, I don't like his attitude. And you mentioned Sean, let's say plenty for him as well. I do like Uma, actually. The whole ever since she come in, she just seems to be more of an authentic person. You know, with everyone else, and we've spoken about Joey being the extreme, like everything just seems fake. Everything seems just really put on, just hyper aware of all the cameras being there and stuff. But with her, she just seems to come across like a normal person. Now, it could be that she's just even better at playing this game than everyone else. It could be that. But I do feel like she just comes across like a normal person and with normal sort of feelings. And then, like you say, when they're starting to laugh, about it, and he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't see why this might be a problem. And again, I think, well, does he think that, or is he going with the Liam type play? He just, I have to do this so that, she gets a bit upset, and then we make up a week later, and then, we've got a good chance of running in at the final and certainly staying on screen for longer. But yeah, I thought it was massively disrespectful, and yeah, she had every right to be upset. No, we'll talk about Sean and Matilda later. But I thought Uma's reaction was more normal, as opposed to, say, Matilda, who I thought was being a knob when it came clear for her. But yeah, so I just hope Uma just fucks him off. I mean, the guy's a tool. And he's just demonstrated that.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm. That's exactly what was strange. Is Uma acted like a normal person would act when their partner's gone and put the lips on someone else and made a play for somebody, and she's like, she's got morals. She came in dead happy, but then it was like I was watching run. I'm like, oh, Uma, this is really going to go bad. And then she sits down, and then like people are sort of talking and sniggering, and she knows then, and it's like she's got normal morals, whereas everyone else Love Island's like, we're allowed to cheat, it's part of the game. Have you not got the memo? No, she's got good morals by the looks of it, and brought up, like you said, maybe she's the ultimate contestant and she's playing it for the camera. But I felt that it was very authentic, and it's like Will sat there like, I don't know what the fucking problem is. Well, in real life, Will, that's not normal, cheating on your missus, so that's you have to separate reality TV with.
They're not in a relationship, Chris. They're not in a relationship. Don't forget.
No, that's true.
That was his defense, wasn't it? Sat down there. Yeah, we're not in a relationship. All right, then, fucking do what you want, then. Bellend.
Yeah, absolute bellend. But let's get on to we're on it today. Let's get on to Matilda and Sean. So this week, Sean has come across as a complete cock to me, Dave. And this whole everyone's mate fucking character he's been playing for weeks is fake. And by the end of this week, him and Matilda deserve each other. Biggest pair of influencer wannabes for me. He fucked about Diamante and Ruby, which we didn't see a lot of. That was the old Casa Amor edit. But he was so cocky. She was just laying into it. She didn't give a shit that he cheated. Obviously there for the influencer lifestyle, staying on in the show as long as she could. As I said last week, she inserts herself in everyone's fucking relationship. She's got too much to say. Basically, these two bellends will be on Towie within a year because they are just absolute fodder for this shit. I just thought Sean is a dickhead, and she isn't far behind either.
Yeah. Isn't it weird? Because this couple, so Sean and Matilda, they're almost like a more extreme version of Will and Uma. Because, Will was playing around a little bit, but Sean was like, he's just away he's like single and away on his first ever lads holiday. He was just not giving a fuck at all. I mean, he was playing up, no, Matilda's back there, we've got this connection, but whatever, let's just go for it here. I thought he was the most extreme version of that. And again, just back to Will and Uma, I mean, on what fucking planet does a bloke fucking play around with someone like Uma? She's absolutely fucking stunning. Seems like an amazing person. You must be a right fucking tool. But and it's weird because the situation is very, very similar. But what you've just said there is how I feel as well. I've got zero fucking sympathy for Matilda because the way she came back and, she coupled up with Sean, sees he's there, and the Casa girls are sort of saying, oh, I was a bit surprised, whatever. And the way she's fucking being disrespectful to them, and she's almost giving off those vibes of like, well, yeah, whatever. I'm sat here right now. She said something like that. I'm sat here right now,
exactly
and you're not. And it's like, wow, you don't give a shit, do you? So, but you will do, was my thought when she made that comment. And sure enough, we get that later. But then again, I just don't care. It's like you're just showing yourself to be quite a horrible person. And you're like, oh yeah, I don't care. He's done whatever he's done, but I've got myself back on screen now, and I'm not single and at risk of being evicted. So fuck the lot of you. So yeah, I just don't care for this couple whatsoever.
No, and they were it was all fake anyway, because Sean had nobody. She came in, pretty much made a play, didn't she? I know she was, I think it was Omar she was talking to, and Sean sort of was being a bit sneaky behind his back and all that. But Sean had come across like, all the shit Candyman jokes by Ian Sterling. And he's like, yeah, all right, we get it. He's this season's Hugo. He's like everyone's friend, but nobody. And then they literally got together and she went into Casa. And then they've come out and it's like, well, you fake anyway. We know why you're there. And the stuff with him and Will being pair of bellends and these together, very toxic, very up their own arse. And I'm the same. I'm like, if you go within a couple of days, fucking fair fucks you. You know what I mean? Just go. But yeah, no, I'm with you. Now, Dave, I do want to send out a public apology. So last week I stuck up for Jess. Jess, who's from Stockport in Manchester, close to me. She is the biggest fucking bellend in this show. I think I had blinkers on. I didn't understand the whole thing last week, because it was a northern thing and her personality. Some of her lingo and the way she speaks, her slang is very much how I speak and my family, the way we speak to people. But she is a dick. I mean, she's picked fucking Action Man head, fucking Hugo, who's got the most amount of gel I have ever seen.
He's got another fucking shitty beard as well, hasn't he?
I know exactly, but he's got that fucking like I don't know. He's got that much gel on. It just looks like something out the 50s or something, doesn't it? His hair is just ridiculous. He's a proper Cockney white
about Mary myself.
Well, yeah. Well, no, that sticks up, Dave. This one's wedged to his head, isn't it? But you've got the whole thing. He's a Cockney white boy. She literally wants to stay in the show, and it's becoming more apparent. And she's with Trey just before. There wasn't a lot on. They were sort of open. I'll give a little bit of finger where Trey got a little bit jealous, but yet he'd picked Ellie. So they both pick people. But then Jess, she's not humble in anything, is she? She's very arrogant. And I've got to hold my hands up and say, I think I was wrong all along. I know a lot of people don't like her. And I get it now. Just the way and Trey wasn't innocent because I felt he sort of got a backup in certain instances because it's like you don't need to be annoyed, mate. You've got Ellie. That's it. You're in the villa. You've got Ellie. She's got this Hugo, but she cannot stop and she has to say stuff and her fucking facial expressions. And I was like, you know what? You're a dick, Jess. So week 5, Dave, public apology. She's a bellend.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we did get called out in the messenger group at some point. I think because. I'm sure I put something. Oh, I think I was saying she's a bit like either Grumpy Cat or Squidward. Just the facial expressions, the kind of the eyelids, the sort of half laid down, and the frowns and stuff like that. I'm sure you would. In my memory, and I'm not going to go and listen back, but in my memory, you were defending her, and I was sort of saying, well, I don't get the hate, but I don't particularly like her. I feel like she looks down her nose at everyone. I feel like that's what she was demonstrating. But this week, it's been dialed up to 11. She's shown it way, way more. It's been more obvious. And just, it's not just about like fucking saying things as they are, calling things out. It's like, people who say offensive things, it's just, well, it's just my opinion. It's one of those types, like, just fucking just says unhelpful things, shit stirrer to the max. So yeah, she's a fucking bellend as well. But again, kind of the hero we need on a shit show like this. So, I'm appreciating her little shit stirring in the villa for the drama, but yeah, not a nice person whatsoever.
No, she's not. And I think another couple who I think they're going under the radar, they've just got together this week, was Connor and Emma. Obviously he was with Grace, Emma's come in. I want to speak about Blade as well, and that whole triangle that Grace had. But yeah, Connor and Emma, they may end up going quite far in this, Dave, because Connor seems like a really nice guy. Emma's, I'm not anything wrong with her at the moment. They're just one of them couples who's probably going to be, there's no story at the moment for them. So what the producers are going to bring this week, I don't know. But at the moment, they seem to be like really sound, just doing what they need to do to stay in the villa the first couple of days in there as a couple. So, I mean, what do you think of them, Dave? Because there's not a lot to say about them really at the moment.
Well, I mean, I fear for them for that very reason, because we've not seen much of them on screen. So, where that typically ends up is vote comes along and people get voted off because, you're thinking more about the couples that you have seen. And you sort of forget, and you don't vote for the other couples. But they do look like they could be a decent match there. But yeah, just haven't seen enough, and I'm slightly fearful for them that they might be suffering that producer edit and manage them out of the show. That's what I honestly think for them.
I think so as well. I agree, and obviously the final couple, Dave, was Grace. She was single, really, wasn't she? Because obviously she said to Connor, explore not together. But I felt the edit was off with Grace this week. So obviously, initially she gets with Blade, who, let's be honest, Dave, Blade and Messiah both got great body. Blade is, what a fucking name as well. And he's butler in the buff and all that. But his fucking voice, Jesus, Dave, he proper got a really deep, like Brian Blessed type voice, really
fucking Barry
powerful
White
voice. Well, yeah. Hopefully, he can sing because it definitely make you weak at the knees.
I don't think singing is going to be his primary talent.
No, I don't. To be honest, but I felt this week. So obviously, initially, Grace gets with Blade, and they're together, and they're kissing, and all this, and it's looking good. And then Mazai makes like a play for her. They're kissing. Grace is putting all her eggs in his basket, because I think at one point she got the ick because Blade was very rude when he came and they were talking. I love Messiah when he fucking turned around and went, fucking brutal. When he came over, Blade and went, Grace, can we come and have a chat? Like one of them. And he fucked it up. And I thought he was brilliant, Messiah. He was really comical. But then she picks Blade from nowhere. But literally the edit 2 minutes before she was going to pick Messiah. I'm like, why have you left loads out? It didn't make any sense when she walked in with him, because Blade definitely gave her the it. You could see her face drop when he was very rude and took her away from Isaiah, but then she picks him, and I'm like, I don't get that at all. I mean, he's not featured since he's come in the villa after this, to be honest, Dave. He's not. He's literally a peripheral figure, so they could be the next couple booted. But what did you think of that whole journey with her? And I love the fact that Joey was fucking fuming when she came in, Dave. He was trying his best. Look, when Blade come in, that video, have you ever seen that video of Ronaldo when he's playing for United? And one of the players is doing that, you've probably seen it, doing them thrust up things with his pelvis, and you see Ronaldo look over at his crotch and then look at his own as if to say, oh, fuck me, I'm totally inadequate. You can see when Blade came in. Have you never seen it? Oh, Dave, it's a classic.
You don't need to send me a fucking TikTok of it either.
Right, okay, but I'm going to do that. Anyway, when Blade came in, what I love, and Joey's in great shape. Obviously, let's be honest, Dave. Is it natural? But anyway,
takes his vitamins for sure. Yeah.
Well, he obviously does take his vitamins. He's not the only one. But when he came in, I love the fact. And Joey looks, mint six pack. Blade comes in and he looks at him. And he looks at Grace. And then he looked down. He's also say, "Oh, I'm fucked here. This guy's a fucking absolute unit." Because he is just
like fucking twins, isn't it? Like
he's fucking massive, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
It's like a professional bodybuilder. He's massive. He's got that proper 70s bodybuilder look. And it's just that thing of Joey's pan of piss face. I was loving it. I was like, yeah, you narcissistical little prick. This is exactly what the producers wanted. And that's why I think he's going to make a play for Grace, because I think he is ultimately jealous. But anyway, I know I've waffled on again. What did you think of a picking Blade? Because I didn't get that at all.
Well, we've been doing this podcast for years, Chris. And I think I've just found out your secret sauce, because you make all the predictions. You make the prediction that Blade and Grace are going to get booted off, forgetting the fact you made a reality radar prediction that Grace and Joey will get together earlier. I fucking got your number, sunshine.
It's took you long enough.
I've been like, oh yeah, he does get some occasionally.
I'm spread betting across the whole. Yeah. I'm betting on every couple, so I don't lose my money. Yeah.
But yeah, let's go with the original one that I do think is going to happen. So Blade, yeah, absolute unit, and like you say, that deep voice, and you can see why he does what he does for a job. I'm sure he does very, very well out of that. And the edit, yeah, it could be that they had a bit of a connection, but I'll be honest, I think Grace could have come back with anyone because it doesn't matter, because Grace and Joey will end up together. That's the storyline. And again, it might, things can happen, they can do rewrites and stuff, but I'd be very, very surprised if Joey and Grace don't end up back. And that's, yeah, so it's just, there's no sort of future for Grace and Blade, I'm afraid.
No, I can't see it either. I mean, what do you think tonight then, David? The movie stuff. What do you think? How that's going to play out? Because there's going to be there's going to be some shit stirring.
I mean, I guess most of it's out in the open, isn't it? And again, you were saying before about public apology. It's not an apology for me, but I was fairly confident they'd bring Ronnie and Harriet back. I was fairly surprised the way they got dumped pre-Casa Amor, and I was thinking, well, they've kind of done this before with Molly and Zach, haven't they? They brought her back in, and shat on his holiday. But I thought they'd do that. I just thought the producers would like them too much, and I thought, well, I'd be quite enjoying movie night if Ronnie was there, to be honest, and Harriet. Both of them were just saying what they want, the other person wanted to hear. But I think for everyone now, oh shit! I mean, the ones I fear for are Kieran and Nicole. I mean, it doesn't really matter what Kieran does. He could be there with his fucking vicar's outfit on and, reading a bedtime prayer or something. And it's like, oh, you're talking to someone else just before bed, are you? It doesn't matter what she sees in her head. It's going to be overblown and create a bit of drama. But I'm trying to think for the others, will it just be another nail in the coffin for Uma and Will, or Sean and Matilda? I don't know. It seems like they're already ruffled. And to have movie nights so soon after Casa Amor, I don't know. I do love movie night, but it's when the surprises come. And I can't think of anything that's going to come as a massive surprise. Can you?
No, I think it might be the lean into some of the shit stirring, as in the people who are calling people behind the back but pretending to be the friends. I presume Jesse's going to be one of the main culprits for that.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean? So maybe I think you've made a great call. Is the relationships? To be fair, it's quite open what's gone on because we've seen it play out, and obviously the Casa girls had a chat with some of the other girls about what had happened and all that. I think it could be that, where people think they're friends and things have happened and things have been said. That's what they're going to have to lean into that, because last year was a fucking absolute bloodbath, wasn't it? They were just, there was all sorts going on. And the year before, yeah. But with this one, I don't know. I think you're right. I don't know what, I mean, I'm sure when we get the preview at some point today, you're going to be like, holy shit. But I think you're right. I think Nicole might even have a go at Kieran and go, you looked at Maya Jama in that red dress last week. Well, I think everyone did, Nicole. Let's be honest. Every single person did, so maybe it's something like that. I don't know. But I think, I think it's going to play into the friendships thing more than the relationships.
Yeah, let's hope so. But I haven't been able to watch everything in real time, just life and everything. But I certainly will be for movie night, Chris. It's definitely one of the highlights of the season for me.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. So anything else, Dave?
No, I think that's it. Again, we are another week in. We are on the downward slope now. We've done week 5. We're coming into week 6. So, I'm expecting a bit more drama for the next couple of weeks, and then it gets a little bit into the final dates, doesn't it? I guess we didn't have the baby game the last time, so but the kind of games, the meet the parents, all that stuff. So, yeah, can't wait for tonight. But then also, little bit happy that the end is in sight. I can't lie.
I don't know what you're saying, Dave. Anyway, if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you follow us on social media at cdrealitycast, please go up to Facebook, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We really appreciate all your feedback and all the chat. All the episodes are on there, guys. So if you are outside the UK, you can watch them on some of the links posted directly on Facebook. If not, we do have a NordVPN link in the show notes as well, which will get you onto the ITV Player app as well. So ITVX app. So thank you. And honestly, if you do get a chance, drop us a review on the podcast. We really appreciate it. Big thank you to Charlene, as always, for Facebook. We really appreciate you moderating and looking after that for us both. It's really good here. So, Dave, if you do want to support us, get over to patreon.com/CD Realitycast. So the roll call of honour, a massive thank you today to Stacey, Sinead, Jessie, Kathleen Sims, Andrea, Nick, Danielle, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Nicola, Fiona, Maggie, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Joanna, Libby, Susan, Hennessy, Lauren, Lucky Luda Grin, and Kent Gustafson. So thank you so much, guys. Amazing support for myself and Dave. And we go again, Dave.
Absolutely. And I want to thank everyone who's been dropping reviews as well. We will get back and we'll read out some of those. But, again, the Patreon is fantastic. We really appreciate that. But another way to support the show is just writing a review, and that helps us get out to other people as well. So really lovely that people have taken the time out to do that as well. But thank you very much, sir. It's been great. I do love these chats, especially on like a coiled spring at times when we can't talk through the week, and then it gets to the weekend, it's like, all this stuff as well. So it's absolutely brilliant. So thank you very much, mate. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.